into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hell yes.
That is...
I feel like there should be a punching bag right here.
That is,
I know, right?
That is music to set up.
This is motivational music.
This is music to set off a bomb to.
Yeah.
That's what this music
This
is.
it. If you guys don't remember, this was the ringtone or the set off for the bomb that blew up the truck today in today's episode. We thought we had to play it. It was super fitting.
Definitely.
We'd like to have some insight.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Gotham podcast on AfterBuzz. Unfortunately, today we don't have Ryan as our host. He has some prior engagements to take care of, but I'll be your host for tonight. My name is Joyce Ajouri, and I'm joined by the lovely Monse Bolanos.
Hi, I'm so excited to be sitting on this side of the table.
So nice over here.
Yeah.
And Steve Kauffman, what's going on?
Hi, doing well. I can speak today.
Oh yeah, that's right.
that
You
was-
did not have a voice last week.
I appreciate the well wishes. I am much better. You can hear me.
Yes.
I can
Articulate.
I can articulate.
We understand. It's
Yeah.
just a good night.
We don't have to turn my microphone to
Yeah.
like 15 decibels.
Well, today we watched episode 9 of season 1 of Gotham, and today's episode was called Harvey Dent, who we're going to talk a lot about today, which is cool. But first of all, what did you guys think of this episode overall?
I like this episode a lot.
Yeah.
Even the ending, which
Well, of course you liked the ending.
Yeah.
whoa.
Fan service.
That's not why I enjoyed this ending. I thought this ending actually brought us to a good place with Barbara's character.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's not my favorite, but I really hated the end of it.
Okay. So we have two opposing opinions.
I walked out and I told Steve, I was like, I hated the last 10 seconds. I hated it. And he was like, okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I personally thought it was a good episode. I think it was a little bit of a filler episode, but I liked that we really got introduced to one of the coolest villains, in my opinion, in the Batman universe, or to be coolest villains in the Batman universe. So Harvey Dent, of course. We'll get to the end at the end. But let's start talking about Harvey Dent. It was really cool to get introduced to him. I thought it was interesting the way they brought him about. He's kind of this Boy Scout, which we're not really used to seeing as Harvey Dent, or as Two-Face, I guess.
Yeah.
But to kind of see that side of him, their portrayal of Harvey Dent pre-Two-Face is really interesting. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that immediately his coin was out. Immediately. Like, that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, he's already making bets.
I mean, that would be weird if the show got coy with Harvey Dent.
right?
The show started to be subtle. Where
Yeah.
it's like, I did not tune in for subtlety,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Give me Selena Kyle with the milk.
Yeah, I thought
I'm in.
the same thing.
I'm game.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was cool that they had the coin right off the bat, and they had kind of his Two-Face traits visible, like the foreshadowing, like shadows over his face were really, really nicely played. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we kind of saw more of the Two-Face traits that we're used to, and that's not something that I remember from the Dark Knight movies.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
I like the difference of the portrayals of Harvey Dent, which is cool.
Yeah, I felt like he was the character was executed in such a he made me question his authenticity.
Yeah.
You know, and in the Dark Knight movies or what you were just describing, I didn't feel like that. It was like I knew who you were. I knew you were Harvey Dent. I knew what you were gonna be. But in this episode, I was like, you're untrustworthy. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're too young. You're
Very young, idealistic. Like clearly the only district attorney in Gotham that would even side with Bullock in internal affairs.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's kind of what was cool too, is to see them kind of have an ally in this city, to have Harvey Dent sort of try and help them clean up Gotham, like he says throughout this episode. But he has a difference, like him and Gordon are kind of the same in that aspect, but the difference is clearly we were shown that Harvey Dent has like motives to become the district attorney, and he'll do anything to get there, including doing the quote unquote wrong thing to do the right thing, which is clean up the city. And we kind of saw that come out of his personality when he was talking to Lovecraft.
Yeah.
He snapped.
Yeah.
That he's not like Gordon, where Gordon is just like, what's right is right, and that's the only thing I'll accept. He's like, no, I can bend some rules.
Yeah.
I can bend some rules. I can use the threat of a witness to try to close a case before I ever get to use the actual witness.
Yeah, and that's what he wanted to do in this episode, was close the Wayne case. And like we said, he was on Bullock and Gordon's side to do this. And to do it, he basically wanted to kind of call Lovecraft's bluff by creating and fabricating this really huge, powerful story that would make him scared enough to possibly confess, whether he was part of it or not.
Or to get anybody else who knew to confess.
Exactly.
Because people start talking,
Yeah. So again, that lends itself to the fact that he will do anything to solve a case or to clean up the city.
Yeah. Morals be damned.
Really interesting.
And that's a great character. Apparently teenagers always pick heads.
Yeah. The two. That
was an interesting thing I took. That was
coin.
But what if he picked tails?
Yeah. So then, would you put the coin away? I'd be like, never mind.
When I was 13, I would have picked tails.
Yeah.
I feel like I picked tails too.
I would totally pick tails.
Yeah.
Because it's like the odd man out.
Yeah.
The odd option.
Well, just because it can't be heads. Tails.
Yeah.
And I also wouldn't give that much thought to it because it's completely random.
Yeah.
And it's 50-50. Well, it should be.
Well, going back to Harvey Dent, we didn't really see much of him, given the fact that this episode was called Harvey Dent. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get too much more. This is kind of just the intro, kind of easing us into the character, which was cool. Played by Nicholas DeGasto, who did a really good job. He's also in Masters of Sex and Final Destination 5.
And he also guested a long time ago on a show I'm actually a writer on called Top Story Weekly.
Cool.
Sundays at iOS.
Nice.
Awesome.
And apparently he's only going to be in 2 episodes that we know of right now. Well, he'll show up again later on in season 1, but if season 2 happens, which hopefully it does, he'll be a season regular. So
good.
He'll be a regular on the show.
Yeah, but I agree. It was like you named the episode after him, and it's not about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was he was probably in it for a whole 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, and it was the episode could have carried on without that entire story with him. So yeah, it was weird. I was like, that's it? That's all we get?
Yeah.
I mean, he looked cute. Hey.
Do you guys think they're gonna turn him into Two-Face this season, or you think they're gonna wait a little bit longer?
I think you gotta wait on that.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think the city's gonna start to break him this season, and then next season we should get a whole arc where he's turning, and then if we have a season 3, that's just writer me, where it's like season 3, then just he's the main villain in season 3.
I personally want them to kind of hurry it up and make him Two-Face, turn him into Two-Face.
I see both sides, but if you're only going to show him one more time this season, don't do it.
I wouldn't say they would do it maybe next episode. Maybe at the end of season 1, you will see more of that event approaching, but possibly beginning of season 2, I think that'd be quick enough for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to wait till season 3.
He strikes me as such a main villain, but his turn from the guy we saw tonight to become Two-Face, I think can have a whole season to breathe. Of just every time he's trying by any means to clean up the city and it's not working. And then at one point, depending on which origin they're going to go with, he's going to try a chemical guy, and the chemical guy is going to throw chemicals in his face.
Yeah, that's gonna be done in the comic books, it's done by Falcone.
Yes.
During a trial. So I wonder if this is setting it all up
for that
to get to that point.
Yeah.
Which
Possibly.
would be cool.
Or like
be
there's
awesome.
always the Dark Knight way.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to have Joker, and
That's.
I don't think we need Joker.
But you know
on
what?
this
Who knows
show.
what they're gonna do
We
with
have
this
plenty
show?
of-
Because they're gonna go in any direction.
Or they
I
could
guess.
do whatever they
do
want.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I want to see a full season arc of him trying.
Yeah.
And maybe it's him it's him doing a long case for Falcone. And like
Possibly.
it takes a whole season for him to just keep trying to get Falcone on the stand, and he gets Falcone on the stand.
Yeah.
And then it all goes wrong.
And that's when it happens.
And then season 3, he's our villain.
Yeah. I guess I do like the idea of just having all these, events obstacles that he has to overcome, because you kind of see when Lovecraft became sort of an obstacle when he was conversing with him and trying to get him to confess, or to threaten him with this story. He really had that anger that came out, where he was like, don't threaten me. He's like, I will cut you open. And that's when I was like, oh, that's the Two-Face I want to see.
Yeah.
Like, the other side of him. So.
Just a guy with bipolar.
Yeah, I want to see more of that for sure.
Yeah. And I like that they saved the bipolarness or the bipolar aspect of him for that scene with Lovecraft, and that we didn't see that, like, him by himself or him talking to Jim about that. I like that it was there. I was like, man, he snapped. I think I wrote, he snaps.
Yeah.
He snaps. Good for him.
He snaps.
Gotta refer to your notes.
Yeah. I was like, Dent snaps.
Yeah. I still find it so Z-snap.
Different snap. Different snap.
I still find it so weird. Like, my brain can't accept the fact that Dent is so much older than Bruce Wayne. Because also in the comics, and I know, again, like, they're not going by canon or the comics most of the time, but I know in the comics, Harvey Dent becomes the DA, like, just shortly after Bruce Wayne becomes the Batman that we know. So it's just really weird to accept that in this show. But I like it.
But then that gives us completely different.
Exactly. Right. They can do anything with that.
This show is its own canon. And that's what I appreciate. That, I mean, although it would be inadvisable if Barbara Keene became Batwoman, they could do.
I said that last week.
They could do that.
They could totally do that. It's a possibility. But speaking of Bruce Wayne, let's jump into talking about Bruce and Selina and their first encounter.
Yes. He
was enamored. That was a really sweet moment. What did you guys think?
I'm happy we got to see more of the Wayne Manor.
True.
They have a pool. They have a hallway. They have a kitchen. I think we saw the kitchen.
I think they referenced it, or did they?
They referenced the kitchen.
The kitchen exists.
And you saw the balcony where they were fighting.
Yes.
Maybe the courtyard.
And then apparently that was fluid. That was just a fluid move right there.
Oh man.
Apparently even when training someone to box, Alfred has to keep his jacket and vest on. Like, I know, right? He's got to look proper.
Or when Bruce is in the water in his full attire.
No bathing suit.
No need. A sweater.
If you got to jump in the water at a random time because you're in flight or fight mode, you got to jump in your clothes.
I respect that. But when I'm at home, if I'm practicing something, I'm going to be real practical while I'm at home. And you know what I mean? But I thought I knew what he was doing, and I was like, he's probably just being like in the moment and, Yeah. But I was like, all your clothes? And then he just got up and was like, all right, so...
And that wasn't even a question.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't even a question from Selina.
No. She's seen weirder things.
Like, whatever.
But Selina ends up at the Wayne Manor because Gordon wanted Alfred to take her in for witness protection. And she's the one that gave the description of the suspect to the cops to draw up and show Bruce to see if he knew him or anything. So Gordon asked Alfred and Bruce, I guess, if Selina can stay, and of course Alfred wasn't a big fan of the idea, but Bruce wanted that. And I think, like we've learned in previous episodes, Bruce doesn't have much encounter with kids his age, and that's something Alfred wanted, but knowing what Selina Kyle has done, doesn't want her in that household. But that's how they first meet, and when she gets placed under his protection.
But Bruce gets the final say.
Exactly.
We've learned that over the course of the 9 episodes. He gets the final say, and he wants Selina there.
Yeah.
Which, as a little kid, she's adorable. I would also want her there.
I know. Their first encounter was, I was like, oh, that is so cute. The look in his face, and just having someone to talk to, and be around other than Alfred.
That would probably be helpful.
Yeah.
To not be just a sheltered kid. Because it seems like he's not going to school. School's not working out for little
He's making his own curriculum. Don't
Exactly.
He's learning.
Don't hate on him.
Which she thinks is crazy. And he thinks it's crazy that she thinks it's crazy.
Well, and one of my favorite quotes was but you're a billionaire. What's left to learn?
Exactly.
And he's like, that's a strange way to see this.
Yeah. And that's what was really cool about their encounter, too, was you can clearly see the contrast between the two. I mean, she's dressed like, some urban street cat. And he's sheltered and clearly doesn't really know what the world is like outside. And he learned a lot from her. And it was really surprising for him.
I'm so glad he said that it's like a different world, and she's showing him that, because when they were fighting, she's like, in Gotham, people don't fight with gloves. And he just stopped and was like, oh. Yeah,
it's like Alfred thinks he's doing him a solid by teaching him how to fight. I mean, he is. He's teaching him defense and self-defense, but, there's only so much that Alfred is showing him that's really going to benefit him.
Right.
Well, but Alfred did, like, with the punches, it's better, like, it's more important to learn how to take a punch than it is to learn how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Or it's equally as important. I'm pretty sure the quote was.
Yeah.
That's
you want me
true.
to punch you so you can...
I actually do know how to take a punch.
I will not
but
condone
appreciate
violence
that.
on this set, you guys.
That's a thing.
Darn. If Ryan was here, he would have let me.
And can we talk about their really cute pastry fight towards the end?
I know.
Yeah. Just when Alfred was starting to get really impatient with Selena and really want Gordon to come get her, he sees how much fun they're actually having together and appreciates her presence.
He saw Bruce smile for probably I don't think we've seen Bruce smile in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
That we're seeing Bruce smile, where it's like, if anything can make Bruce Wayne smile right now, whatever.
We'll keep her around.
They'll break glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were clearly they're clearly breaking stuff.
Yeah. They'll throw fake bagels. I was like, that bagel looks so fake. Did you guys not think that?
It
I
did
thought
look
that.
pretty
I was
fake.
like,
That bagel looked amazing.
that bagel looked so fake that it probably really hurt when they were
Probably.
No,
throwing
that
it
bagel
at
looked
each
so
other.
fake that it was probably an actual bagel. There's
They do look quite shiny.
There's someone from the art department watching this right now.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there was a real bagel.
That's a real. I just overcooked it and I never cut
Went
it.
out of my way.
Yeah. So jumping from Bruce and Selena to Cobblepot, he had encounters with a few major characters today too. I mean, Fish and Liza mostly, but he wants to basically continue messing with Fish, and to do so he's going to start messing with Liza as well and kind of put her in a really weird spot. So he breaks into her home and basically threatens her, and he finds out that she actually does care about Falcone.
Yeah. I thought it was quite interesting that he came back. Well, he comes the first time, sneaks into her place and takes her scarf.
Like, or a camisole,
or like
or
Yeah, he
something.
took something of hers because of the smell
The
of lilacs.
scent of it, right. And then I liked that Liza noticed it. That was interesting. I was shocked about that. But it's crazy because Fish is going to lose to herself. And that's what's crazy, is that she's not thinking that Penguin is smart enough to do this. And it's like, no, dude, there's other fish in the sea that are fighting you.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No pun intended. And I didn't even do that. Oh, drops mic. I'm out.
Put some money in the pun jar and on your way out.
And I thought this episode, Cobblepot did a really good job at kind of perplexing Fish. I think she was really confused this time around. Like, what does he really have up his sleeve?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like she doesn't want to believe that he can be messing with her.
Yeah.
She's like, no, he's nothing. She says something to Butch about it. She's like, he's nothing.
Exactly.
He's just,
That's what she said.
yeah.
Because in her mind, he's kind of fallen in line to, he works for Maroni now. Because as far as she's concerned, him working with Falcone, completely off the table for her. So she thinks she's free to do what she's been doing, which is just keep weakening Falcone until it's time for her to take over.
And we saw in the previous episode, Liza was trying to poison him ever so slightly just to sort of siphon his power, like Fish stated. So this is just a step closer.
It's a very simple grand plan
Yeah.
that without Penguin would work. Like, without Penguin would be working flawlessly.
Yeah.
Like, Penguin is this agent of chaos that, like, everybody's plan would work on the villain's side if it weren't for Penguin.
Yeah. But
That's
Fish
very
thinks
true.
it's working. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that she has not changed her plan at all.
I know.
And it's just going to backfire on her. And she has no idea.
Super confident.
Super confident. I loved her outfit.
I know.
Oh, girl, you're working it.
I'm telling you, she looks like a live action version of someone who would be in a comic book. Like
Yes.
a villain.
She really does.
With the outlandish garments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
She looks awesome.
She looks so good. I'm going to be for her for Halloween.
You should do it.
You're
I should.
Well, you have to hop in your DeLorean
Yeah.
and then go back.
And then go back. Well, there's always next year.
Okay.
Hello.
All right.
You didn't know Halloween happens every year?
No.
Oh, there's like
No.
a date every
What?
year. It's crazy. It's
What?
crazy.
You gotta check it out.
You
man.
gotta.
Man, I thought I had one shot at it.
And that was
I nailed it, by the way.
yeah.
But then I get more? Okay,
Get
cool.
more.
Great.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the basically the big plot that kind of held everything together, which was the Ian Hargrove, the bomb maker, basically, who was commissioned by a Russian named Kasyanov to make bombs to break into Falcone's iron vault, which is the only iron vault in Gotham right now. And these bombs weren't really, like, no one really knew what they were for because they were such high-grade, military-grade bombs. Like, why would you use that to, you know, to get to somebody? And it's to get Falcone's money, but not to steal it, as Fish said. This was all Fish's plan, but to just sort of hurt him a little bit and kind of get him where it hurts, which is his money.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of that whole plot? That was really cool to me, I thought.
That was really cool. I also like that Ian Hargrove, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is an original villain / character.
I think so too.
I think so.
And he also stands, once we move forward, he stands as the poster child for someone who's criminally insane.
Yeah.
Someone which really in Gotham means you're a criminal and you have like something wrong mentally.
It's like in that world, it's like no matter what you're doing, if what you're doing is wrong to society's eyes, you're evil. Or, you know, the whole argument for Ian Hargrove was he's not really a bad guy. His brother John was saying this is how he's been since he was a kid. He never got proper care. And, you know, he's not really bad. He just thinks what he's doing is right, which is blowing up munitions factories and places that make ammo and guns and everything. But he did feel guilty sometimes.
Because he finally killed someone in one of the last explosions. But that wasn't the plan,
Yeah. And in this storyline, I like that he specifically planted evidence in his bomb.
Yes.
So someone can find out.
Yeah.
So someone can find out where he is and try to save him, because he's essentially as much of a victim as a bomb maker can be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That he's a captive bomb maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked how at first I thought he was a bad dude because we saw that he put matches, or I thought they were matches and they were matches when he takes them out of his mouth and holds them. So at the very beginning I was like, oh, this is a bad guy. Like, and then it turns out he's not as bad as I thought he was going to be.
You kind of sympathize with him.
You do a little bit.
Which makes you kind of think, are all the villains in this universe really bad if they actually think what they're doing is right? You know? I feel like that's always been sort of a dilemma.
Yeah, a bit of a dilemma.
When you read about villains.
Yeah, a bit of a dilemma in a lot of the comic books is like, if somebody just pure evil, or I think the world Gotham's trying to portray is that some people are just pure evil. And then other people are acting on their behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, like, because I'll save that for predictions, but what I'm thinking is going to happen is Arkham is going to churn out more villains that will bend to the will of the Falcones and the Maronis and the Fish Moonies, and that's what Arkham will do. And then completely lost it.
Happens.
Completely lost that.
I got you. Don't worry. Not to completely, before we move on, I loved the scene where Ed is figuring out what the explosive is for, and you hear the random questions like in the background, like, oh, how many bones are in the arm?
Oh, on the radio,
How many elements are in the periodic table? And then he says it, but then when he finally gets the hole in it, he's all like so excited, and he goes to tell them, and for the first time, I think they showed gratitude. They were like, good job, thank you.
Yeah.
And he was like,
exactly. I wrote that down too. I was like, he finally got affirmation from them, exactly, gratitude, that he had a purpose and he was being appreciated for it.
Yeah, it was great. That whole scene, I was like, I loved this. I loved it.
Yeah, and Edward Nygma is the person who found, where Hargrove is working out of. He's the one that told Bullock and I always want to say Dent because he's Harvey Bullock, Bullock and Gordon. So they get over to the metal factory that he's fashioning these bombs in, and they go to try to get him because they had already spoken to his brother, who is now in witness protection program, but basically said, Ian is not a bad guy, you have to help him. So they find him in the metal factory, they try to take him away, but then they're deterred by Kasyanov and the Russians, who try to who apprehend Ian and take him off to the Iron Vault where he does the explosives. Did I get the order wrong?
No, that's right.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And then we get more Enigma finding out about the iron.
Yeah.
Really good tie-in with periodic tables.
Yeah.
Periodic tables. Exactly. It's just like, no, nobody makes stuff out of iron.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years,
Exactly.
Forever.
So who has the only Iron Vault is Falcone. So, but I loved Enigma's little moment about asking if they play video games. That was so hilarious.
I love video games.
Yeah.
I wonder what video games...
Because they present a puzzle.
What video games would Enigma play?
Portal. Puzzle games for sure.
Yeah.
I think he'd play Grand Theft Auto though.
You think so?
I think he would play GTA really. I think he'd be really good at it.
Yeah.
Like he'd be that guy. Like there's a thing on YouTube for Grand Theft Auto that apparently somebody goes into like, I think you can be passive mode in the online version of Grand Theft Auto, but he somehow found a way to hack it. And then through the headset, he'll play creepy music and then walk up and kill and like stab somebody.
Oh God.
It's on YouTube. It's hysterical. I think that's who Enigma would be.
Possibly.
He would hack the whole game.
He also kind of strikes me as a Half-Life guy.
I could see that.
Or Gmod and create his own puzzles. That's just me.
Or he's-
So they get to the Iron Vault with Ian Hargrove. They take the cash, they put it in the big truck, and they drive over to this area where Harvey, Bullock, and Gordon catch them, and they stop them and they threaten them with their guns and everything. But Ian it seems like he's afraid, and the Russians don't want to get rid of him, but they also don't want to get shot. And as not Dent, see, I keep doing it.
You'll get there.
It's all right.
As Bullock and Gordon are trying to get them to put their weapons down, Gordon hears the final countdown ringtone thing.
Yeah.
And he realizes this is a bomb countdown. And so he tells everyone to duck, and he protects Ian, and he basically gets him out of harm's way. And then all of a sudden the truck explodes and all of Falcone's money runs everywhere. It's blown up everywhere.
Yeah.
Which I would have been like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you guys think that was, and we saw that Butch did it. Like he set off the bomb. Did you
Right.
guys think that was going to be Fish's doing?
The second I saw Butch, I knew it was Fish's doing.
Well, yeah.
But like before that, no.
I had no idea.
yeah, when they talk about the phones, because there's a scene where we see them when Cobblepot comes to see Fish, he has both phones, and he's like, oh, everything's good to go, or whatever he says. No clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
But I mean, Fish's plan seemed way too simple.
Yeah.
And I think the timing of, oh wait, so they're just going to take the money, and now they're going to get surrounded. And now we have I wrote Russian standoff. Now we have a Russian standoff.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Only they're all dead now.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm actually confused. So was her plan to always kill them?
Her plan was
Probably.
to get rid of the Russians.
At all, the whole time?
Yeah, because she said, I don't like loose strings.
Yeah.
But she would have been probably very upset if one of the Russians survived. Because
Okay.
then she'd have to track them down and kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was, go ahead.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
just confused when she said that. I was like, is that because they showed up? Because the cops were already there? Or because Bullock and Gordon were there? Or was that her plan all along?
No, she just wanted the Russians dead.
Okay.
And she asked Bush at the end, were they all
Right,
taken
taken care of
He's
it,
like,
yeah.
every last one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So we get to that, and then Ian gets apprehended by Jim and Bullock, and he gets set off into safety. Well, or so we think. Now he's going from Blackgate to Arkham, which isn't any better.
No.
And you were saying, Steve, Blackgate was just a penitentiary, and it's not like he's going anywhere to get help.
Yeah, well, but that's the guys they're using.
Yeah. All the
that's-
criminally insane prisoners.
Yeah, and they're going to use criminally insane to mean anyone of value to Falcone, Maroney, or Mooney,
Yeah.
or the city, or Ensign. Is that the company? And no, Ensign's the company.
Ensign.
Yeah, Ensign. Any of those people involved in the Arkham Project are just going to have,
Including the mayor,
are just
who's
going to have.
as corrupt as possible.
I don't know. I think he's more.
He's like a puppet.
Yeah, he's more of a like.
Literally read my mind.
And I think there's a lot of stuff he keeps himself in the dark on. Like, I don't think the mayor would have much to do with like the terrible things that are happening, as much as he would just make a point to turn a blind eye to them. And yeah, that's.
Yeah. But he was kind of bummed, or not bummed, but not very happy that Gordon and Dent sort of formed this little alliance. Like he maybe felt threatened, obviously.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be found out, which I think at the end is why he made this PR move to tell the public that all the criminally insane were going from Blackgate to Arkham.
In order to help the city.
Yeah, but he put a positive spin on it,
Yeah.
made this whole PR thing just to cover his butt.
His booty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what he did. Yeah, I did. I lost that too.
Yeah.
I'm losing
It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all
but
good.
I really like that we can see how corrupt basically every aspect of Gotham really is. Not Jim Gordon, and I'm not saying everybody 100%, but it just shows you that who do you trust at this point?
Yeah. When do you guys think Gordon will realize he can't really trust Dent? Because he doesn't seem like he's fully trusting of Dent at this point. But
Agreed. Yeah.
a long time. Because, well, right now he's gonna not be able to trust Montoya.
Yes, exactly. That was gonna be my segue too. Yeah, Montoya's like, she's doing stuff behind his back, trying to be on his side also. Like, we just want to help you, Jim. Here's Dent, and we're on his side too. And here she is screwing his fiance. So sad.
Yeah.
Just no.
Did you guys figure she was going to be with Montoya?
No, I was telling, I didn't tell you, but I told her, I was like, when I was watching the episode, and it seemed as though she was listening to the voicemail.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was just on in the background. I was like, she's just naked by herself, like in a hotel room. And it didn't even occur to me that somebody was laying behind her, and let alone.
And then you see a hand, and it's not a man. It's
And
a delicate
immediately,
hand.
when the whole thing, I was like, oh my God, it's Montoya. Oh my God, it's Montoya. Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my God.
just, I mean, Barbara's a bit of a villain. Actually, she's been antagonizing.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, she's done more antagonizing than protagonizing.
She definitely hasn't helped Jim Gordon as much as she says she's trying to.
Yeah.
She's hurting him in every way. That's the best way for her to leave.
And so, and like the time frame, it seems like you just left.
Yeah.
Like you left yesterday.
It's been days in this world.
Yeah. It's been exactly. It has not even been. He probably just read your letter. Like, for all we know. Like, how?
Well, if you're going to leave the one person, if you're going to leave someone that you trust with your whole life, you're going to go and leave them for the next person that you also trust, a lot. I mean, granted, she's been through a lot with Montoya in the past, or so we've been alluded to. But like I was telling you, like, once you break up with someone, in this case, she quote unquote broke up with Jim for a little bit, it's kind of a propensity to go to someone that you have a history with and that you kind of trust in a sense.
So
why wouldn't she go back to Montoya?
They're on a break.
Possibly.
Rachel and Ross would not like this.
More importantly, who's paying rent on that apartment?
Right?
You just left him your place?
I don't think Jim could afford it.
I'm going to say she already owns it.
Yeah.
She just owns it.
Already all hers.
So it's his now?
Yeah, pretty
much. Or is she going to kick him out later?
Maybe.
I mean,
When she
Selena
comes back.
Kyle might be in there. She loved that place.
Oh, yeah.
She was all about staying there.
Definitely.
I would have too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just hang here.
I think Barbara is doing the most to antagonize him. That just...
I think so,
he
too.
had this all sewn up. He had, like, his major problems all sewn up. And she was in the other room because she couldn't just listen to him.
Do you guys think over the course of the rest of the season, this will be a huge distraction for him? Or do you, is this something he's going to dwell on? The fact that Barbara's not with him and that she's kind of being vague? Or is he just going to be like, screw you, like, I need to do my job?
He's going to handle it that way, but it's going to
affect him
and distract him. And I think I'm thinking within the next 3 weeks, we're going to get to a point where it seems like he's over it. And that's when he finds out. That's when he finds out that she's with Montoya.
Yeah.
And then it'll destroy him.
Right, especially since he didn't even know about her until recently. And it's like, and now you're going back to her?
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom boom.
Boom.
That's hilarious.
I do. You guys don't understand how mad it made me watching it.
I do. I saw you, like...
I know. He
Table
saw me.
flip.
Yeah, I was just like, this is ridiculous. Why?
So we covered the introduction of Harvey Dent. We covered some of Bruce and Selena's first encounter and the rest of their cute, adorable scenes. Oh, one thing to add too, I feel like Bruce was really trying to connect with Selena on this level where he didn't assume she was an orphan, but I think he wanted to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And he wanted to connect and have that thing in common with her.
Right.
But, he was met with the complete opposite. And I think that kind of shattered him a little bit, just someone to relate to. But I guess turns out they can still have fun and be kids together and stuff.
Yeah, and have we not brought up how she's like, have you ever kissed a girl?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to kiss a girl?
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
That was adorable. I loved
That's what you said when we were watching. I was like, damn, she worked quickly.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Like
thought she was
fast.
going to kiss him. I was like, she's going to kiss him by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Because didn't she bring it up twice?
Yep.
In two different, right?
Yep.
I was like, she's going to kiss him. And then she didn't.
And then the story about her mom, we were talking before the show,
Yeah.
Steve, you were trying to figure out if there's any history of her parents.
The Wikipedia page was pretty full of stuff, so I wasn't positive what the official story is, but I'm guessing just the character in the world we're showing that has to be something she's telling herself or something someone else told her to get over the fact that she's just some girl on the street.
Yeah.
And her mom's probably not all that great.
Yeah. I definitely think that's definitely a fabricated story.
Yeah.
One way or another. And the way she was looking at Bruce's mom's photo was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing also, amidst Bruce's attempt to sort of be stronger and everything, he still got kind of vulnerable when, you know, talking about his mom or realizing the fact that Selena was there when it all happened. When they died.
Yeah.
It was really sweet. So we got that, and then we talked about Cobblepot, Fish, and Liza for a brief moment, and the whole Ian Hargrove, Bullock Gordon storyline. Was there anything else you guys wanted to add about any of those?
No, I think we covered it all. We're not used to doing that by 35.
Right.
We're like, what?
No, we're moving quickly on this episode. But anyway, well, then we can go on to...
do you have... let's
do I have anything? Not really.
Not
I have a
really.
lot of Harvey Dent history, which I thought I would be talking more about, but he's barely in this episode, so...
Fair enough.
We can save that for later.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys want a filler...
I don't think we need all that.
No, not a filler. But I read this article about the actor who plays Harvey Bullock, and he did this interview, and I'm going to tell you right now, which I thought was very interesting, and it didn't have to do with Gotham, actually. It had to do with another movie he was in recently.
The Patriot? Probably not. He was in The Patriot, though. He was wonderful.
Yeah, it's another movie where he talks about people getting upset that they didn't follow protocol because I think it was based on another comic book or like another book or something. And he said, why are people getting upset? He basically was like, let them do their own story. And then they did a sequel to it. And he was like, no, this is not.
So it kind of ties in with
this.
People getting, you know, upset at speculations that don't have to do with the story, when it's like, well, this is the writer's freedom to basically create whatever prequel they want.
I got it. It was on Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I got the quote. Okay. I was in Ghost Rider, which was, well, it was whatever it is, but it was fun as shit. Someone was grilling me at Comic-Con about not being true to the comic book. I was like, dude, it's a skeleton on a motorcycle on fire, but the leather jacket doesn't burn. What level of dissection do we have to get to? I mean, I understand being precious about shit, but come on, there's some goofy shit in the thing, and you just gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
And very true to kind of this, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's why do they have to follow exactly what the comic book said before? And that's how he felt about Ghost Rider. So I wish he would talk about Gotham.
Well, we can relate it to that, and it's the more ridiculous a theme is or a plot is in the show, the more fantastical it is, the more fictional it is, the more freedom you have. So why not embrace it?
Yeah. So
yeah.
And if only there was a show that talked about Gotham for him to come on and say that.
Right? And if you're interested in finding what I'm talking about, it's on cinemablend.com if you're interested to knowing what else he said. But that was just the one quote.
I like it. I agree with the man.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, you guys want to move on to predictions?
Let's do it.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ
Where there's more lights that flicker now.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We need like some effects to show like a light on us and then us being sucked out of here.
All right, who wants to start? Monse, you want to do it?
All right, there's so much to say. And did you guys get a preview of the next one?
We did, yes.
It cut off on me when I was watching it. So my prediction is not going to be on the next episode because I actually didn't get to see it. My prediction is going to be on just kind of a little overall of everything. I agree with you that Jim is going to find, once he's kind of like, I'm moving on, I'm going to let go of this, he's going to find out what was happening behind his back. Because going back, I don't think they're on a break. Like, I don't think he took that as a breakup. I feel like she said, I'm going to go fix myself so that everything can go better.
That's how she set it up anyway.
And it's like, you're in her house. Of course he's not going to think of this as some sort of breakup for her to go off and do something like what she did. But I do agree with that. And I think, unfortunately, Liza will be turning her back on Fish. Not only because of Cobblepot showing up and basically threatening her, but I think she is developing some feelings for Falcone.
Totally.
And not in
Picture in her house.
Exactly.
and not in like I'm not even saying it in like a sexual way. Just developing some sort of feelings, maybe
like an understanding of
or like as a grandfather, as a father, whatever, or even if it is sexual. But I think that she is going to turn her back on Fish Mooney. That is my
good call.
Big prediction.
I actually agree with you on that.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah.
I covered the Arkham that starting next week, we're going to start to see criminally insane used very loosely to get anybody that could be valuable into Arkham. They're going to get into Arkham, which is going to be pretty much run by the criminal element of Gotham, and the people who can be bomb makers. I was about to say candlestick makers, nunchuck makers. And anyone like that is going to be trained to be worse when they get out, and it'll actually be a decent statement on how our actual prisons work, which I always liked about Arkham. Otherwise,
it's like social commentary.
And now that I remember that next week is it for the year, or at least for the fall. So
there's going to be a break, definitely.
Yeah, there's going to be a break.
How long.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I would assume they don't come back till January. So if next week's going to be it, I would say a lot of stuff's going to happen, which we saw that assassins are coming after Lil Wayne and Selena Kyle.
What?
Which
Sorry.
I think...
Yes.
See, I didn't even... it cut off on me.
Yeah, there were assassins in the Wayne Manor, and we were mentioning how it could possibly be the advent of the League of Assassins, the introduction of League of Assassins, a.k.a. League of Shadows. But that would be so cool. I wonder if the female assassin is going to be their interpretation of Talia. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Talia al Ghul.
And I think what's going to happen is Gordon's going to be tied up in trying to find these assassins, trying to fight these assassins, trying to see where Lil Wayne is, trying to help everybody out. It'll never not be
every
funny.
time.
Every time I call him Lil Wayne, that I think at the very end of that episode, he's gonna find out about Montoya.
Yeah.
So he's gonna find out next week.
He's gonna find out at the end of next week, and we're gonna have to sit on it for 6-7
for
weeks.
A few weeks. I also think that the Montoya Barbara relationship is going to weigh him down.
Oh yeah.
And it will definitely affect his job and everything, and kind of put him on the sidelines and everything. But I also want to stick with the fact that I think they're going to bring out Two-Face a little sooner than expected.
Okay.
Because I want to see it, that's all. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Steve, where can everyone find you?
Right here, right now. No, but also on Twitter at Steve Kauffman. That's Kaufmann. I also host the Modern Family podcast on Wednesday nights. For those of you who watch both.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos, and you can also catch me on the Scorpion panel, which airs Mondays.
Cool. Yeah. And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JAJOURI, and on the Sunday Night Walking Dead podcast and Tuesday Night Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.